Welcome once again. Today we'll be looking at functions, the second part of functions. My name is Teacher Walton, and this is brought to you courtesy of Maths Ministry at www.maths123.org. It's always a good idea to focus on God's word. Today, Psalms 116 verse 1 says, I love the Lord because he has heard my voice and my supplication. So God hears our prayers, and we should continue to make him our first love. So let's go to question number 1. Question number 1, you are given a function f as well as function g, and you are asked to find f g of -3. So in this question, we are substituting first the value of -3 into our g function, which will be -3 divided by 2. So where we see x here, we're going to replace that by -3. So therefore, we are given the value -3 divided by 2, which is -6 over 2, which works out to be -3. So once we have gotten that value, then we replace this value g of -3, which is -3, into our f of x function, and this will give us 5 plus 2 by -3, which is equal to 5 minus 6, which is -1. So it's something useful. It's usually much faster than the other method where we go about finding first the entire function fg of x. So just as a side note, remember, once you are given these composite functions, for example, f g of -3, how this works is that you are actually asked to find f g of -3. So this is how we did it. The approach is you're working backwards, so to speak. So the first step will be to find what is inside of your bracket, g of -3. So that's the first step. Let's find g of -3. And this is what we did. We found this value, and we got that to work out to be -3. And the second step will mean we need to find f of -3. Right? So if we got a value for g of -3 as -3, then we actually find f of -3. So when you are given these composite functions, you are working backwards, so to speak, working in reverse. Okay, so let's look at it in the second one. So we have our g of x function, and this g of x function is x -3 divided by 2. Right, so that is given in our question above there, x -3 divided by 2. So when you're asked to find the inverse of a function, the first thing you do is you let y equals to the inverse function, and this statement always translates to mean g of y is equal to x. So g of y means that where you see x in the function, you replace it by y. So in this case, g of y will be y -3 divided by 2, and this is equal to x. So this here gives us an equation, and we are now asked to find or make y the subject of that equation. And one technique we can use, which is indicated by the yellow arrows, is to cross multiply. So this becomes 1 multiplied by y -3. So we are multiplying this part first, or you could have done this one first, it doesn't matter. And you'll say this will equal to 2 by x, which is 2x. So let's remove the brackets now. Y minus 3 is equal to 2x. We are solving for y, so we'll add 3 to eliminate minus 3 on the left-hand side. And what you do on one side, you're adding that as well to the other side. So you add 3 on both sides, this will cancel out. So you're left with y equals to 2x plus 3. Now remember, this y is our inverse function here. So we can conclude by saying that g inverse x is equal to 2x plus 3. Of course, the sum does not stop there. It asks us to solve. Find the value for g inverse of 12, which will be 2 multiplied by 12 plus 3. 24 plus 3, 27. So that'll take care of question number 1. Let's look at question number 2. So we are really practicing this inverse of composite as well as finding the value of composite functions. So let's go to question number 2. Again, you're given 2 functions. And let's find fg of 2. Remember how we said it's done? The first step is to find. All right, let's find g of 2. G of 2 will be 7 multiplied by 2 minus 5. So we are substituting the value 2 here in that g function. So this will give us 14 minus 5, which is equal to 9. So the sum becomes f, right? So we are now replacing this g of 2, which we just calculated, by this 9. So therefore, this becomes f of 9. So you ask to find what is f of 9 given your f of x function, where we substitute the value of x for 9, and therefore we are getting what? F of 9 would be 9 minus 3 over 2, that's 6 divided by 2. So this will be 3. That's our value right here. Okay, let's go to the next function, gf inverse 10. Right, so similarly, when we are asked to find this, we can write our first line as let y equals to g f inverse x. Okay, let's see what's gonna happen here. Let's see what's gonna happen here. Maybe we should take another approach. It might be much easier, much shorter. Okay, so let's double check something up there. Right, let's compare it to the first. Okay, so that one was a straightforward inverse function. This one is where you have to find gf inverse of 10. So let's find the inverse of this. Okay, so gf inverse 10. Now remember, we can write this as g f inverse 10 right. So first of all, let's find what is the f inverse of 10. So remember, we said let y equals to f inverse x. So f of y will be x. Right, so let's go back up to the f of x function. The f of x function will be, it's stated up there. Right, the f of y function would now becomes y minus 3 over 2 is equal to x. So let's cross multiply, put 1 here. So this will give us y minus 3 by 1, which will be y minus 3, equals to 2 by x, which is 2x. All right, so this becomes y minus 3 plus 3 equals to 2x plus 3. So y would be 2x plus 3. Right, so y we said is the f inverse of x. So let's write that. F inverse of x will be 2x plus 3. Okay, so remember the first step, we need to find what is this part of the problem, f inverse of 10. Let's do that. F inverse of 10. All right, let's write the 1 properly. F inverse of 10, where we see x, we're going to put 10. This is equal to 20 plus 3, which is equal to 23. Right, f inverse of 10 is 23. Okay, so we now need to substitute this value of 23 into our g function. So this will give us 7 by 23 minus 5. Okay, let's work out that. 7 by 23 minus 5. That's 161 minus 5, 156. Right, so we are more or less finished with the sums here, and we are given our value for GF inverse 10, which would be 156. Okay, so we are good right there. We are good right there. So let's go to the next one. Right, so you're given three functions, g, h, and k. Question number 3, g, h, and k. The first part of the problem says work out g of minus 2. So where we see x in that function, we're going to replace it by minus 2. And this will be 8 by minus 2 plus 7. This is minus 16 plus 7, giving us minus 9. So that's our g of minus 2 here, minus 9. Let's go to the second part of this. We asked to find gh of 3. So let's recall what's our h of x is 2 minus x. Let's write these two functions here. G of x is equal to 8x plus 7. And h of x is equal to 2 minus x divided by 4. Right, so we are in a good place. We can now proceed to solve that problem there. Okay. Let's come down a bit. Okay, so do you remember how we approach this? GH of 3, remember this is the same as G H of 3. So we're going to work what is inside of the square brackets first, which is our H of 3. Let's work out that. H of 3 across here will give us 2 minus 3 all over 4. Right, so this will be negative 1/4, 1 over 4. Negative 1 over 4, which is negative 1/4. Right, and now we're going to put, right, so we now ask to find what is g of negative 1/4. Remember, this answer we just worked out to be negative a quarter right down here. So we're going to put negative a quarter into the g function. This becomes 8 multiplied by negative a quarter plus 7. So let's add 7 to this value. A quarter by 8 is 2. So this becomes minus 2 plus 7. This gives us minus 5. So therefore, g h of 3 is equal to negative 5. Okay, let's go to the next problem in part 2, sorry. So let's remind ourselves, what is this k function now? The k function is 5 over 3x plus 6. That's an interesting one. 5 over 3x plus 6, that's our k function. So let's work out the inverse of that. Right, 5 over 3x plus 6, let's write that here. Okay, that's k of x is 5 over 3x plus 6. Right, so we usually say let y equals to k inverse of x. So we know k of y, that's a k of y will be x, and we substitute, we find what is k of y using the function. K of y would be 5 over 3y plus 6 equals to x. Right, so we got to manipulate this equation to solve for y or make y the subject. So let's subtract 6 on both sides first. And we do that to eliminate the plus 6 up here. So this becomes 5 over 3y is equal to x minus 6 over 1. So now we could use the technique of cross multiplication. All right, let's do that. Let's use the technique of cross multiplication, and let's see what we're going to get here. So 5 by 1 will give me 5, and you have 3y by x minus 6. Remember, we are solving for y, so let's divide by x minus 6 on both sides. Right, so we left with 5 over x minus 6 is equal to 3y. So what do? We need to eliminate this 3. So we can now divide by 3 on both sides. You divide by 3. So what do we get? We get y is equal to 5 over 3 into x minus 6. Right, we said y was the k inverse. So k inverse is this. 5 over 3 into x minus 6. That's very interesting. Okay, let's look at the next sum below. What do we have below there? We need to find g of x. And let's see if there's any more after that. And that's it. Okay, so let's do that. We can do that. Let's recall what is our g function. Up there, our g function is 8x plus 7. So let's work out g of x. So 8x plus 7 is our g function, or g of x function, 8x plus 7. 8x plus 7. Okay, so remember what this means. This means g of x. So you are substituting the entire g function back into the original g function where you see x. So therefore, this would be 8 into 8x plus 7. You place an x by that right here. And then, of course, you add 7. So we can now expand by removing the brackets. 8 by 8, 64x. 8 by 7, 56, plus 7. So this will be 64x plus 63. That'll be our final answer for G. That'll be our final answer for GG of x. All right, GG of x will be 64x plus 63. That's our final answer here. Okay, so that was very interesting. I must say it's a very interesting worksheet. I think that's the end of it. So until we meet again, continue to be safe and to remain focused on God's word, which says, I love the Lord because he has heard my voice and my supplications. God bless.